Welcome back. I'm Brenna Wilson, and I'm joined with the new Holy Cross football head coach, Bob Chesney. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And congratulations,
yes,
too.
yeah, thank you. So excited to be here. So excited to move across town, and really, really thankful for the opportunity.
What do you think makes you a good fit here at Holy Cross?
I think my background, has a lot of the similar, philosophies that Holy Cross has. I think as you look at what we've done at Assumption, you look at what we've done at other places we've been, the men and women for others is not something that falls on deaf ears for us. I think that I understand that football, although it is, vitally important to the existence of our players, at the same time we expect them to be doing a lot more for themselves on a day-to-day basis than just worried about football. So I think that being very near and dear obviously to what this entire school is about allows us and allows me to be able to come in here and relate very quickly, and at the same time be able to spread that mission to our players.
And you kind of said it earlier. What does it mean that you're able to kind of further your career without having to uproot your family? You can just stay right here in Worcester.
Yeah. So, momentum and timing are really two really big things. And, the timing of this and the momentum that we had, puts us in a pretty nice spot where you're right to have a 3, a 5, and a 7-year-old at home and not have to do any changing other than my drive from being a 2-minute commute is now a 7-minute commute, which makes it really difficult. But at the same time, it's definitely something that, is very comfortable and makes this a lot easier. We were able to stay and immediately get into this recruiting class. Everything went down on Thursday, and by the time, Thursday afternoon, I was in here with the team, and then we were breaking down recruiting film all Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and here we are today.
What challenges are there for a new coach coming into a program and kind of learning what you already have in place?
Yeah, well, there's no kids here right now. So
Right.
because we don't have our players, it's a little bit difficult. So we're going to do it more through a quantitative approach and maybe more of a technical approach of what are some of their testing numbers, what are their what shows up on the field, what are the things that we think they're strong at or weak at, but we haven't seen them, we haven't seen them in person to really be able to know what type of person that is, and not only person, but what type of how important is football to them. These are all questions that we need to ask. So as far as like understanding exactly where we're at as a team, we don't know, and that's probably one of the biggest challenges, and it's going to be taking time to get to know these players on a personal level. Never want it to just be where they feel like they're commodities for us as coaches. This needs to be done together, and that's going to take some time.
Now, you've been in Worcester for a few years. You've been able to see this program. Do you think the components are in place to get the wins and have a good season?
Yes, I 100% do. I think as you look at this program, and I've been watching, from a distance, actually been to a bunch of practices and a few games as well. And I think the thing that you pay attention to is the life after football component that exists here with anyone who graduates from the college. And as you talk about just how successful they are and how good they are and how good of people they are when it comes down to it at the end, that resonates throughout all of our community. When you think about a lot of the people that I've gained some of my closest relationships with, a lot of them are from here. So that being said, I think we're in one of those positions. Are we actually live right now? All right, so as we're in one of those positions, I think it's one of those things where I just have to get a good feel for everything that's here and just make sure that it's exactly what we had thought. But I think as far as the elite ability for life after football, and then the second thing when you come back to it and say, well, were there the facilities? And those are now at a whole different level. And now you talk about the football being that third element.
Right.
That's what I think we need, and I think we can be in a position to have.
Now, the Luth Athletic Complex, you'll
Yes.
be able to use that for recruiting. How important is that for you?
Well, I think, the just regular daily use is something that I think a lot of programs struggle with in the Northeast. And when you think about the fact that, you're in a situation where there's snow, there could be a lot of different things. We're practicing early in the morning. There's cold weather, policies in place. To be able to say to recruits, this facility is as good, if not better, than a lot of other places you're going to look at on this level. I think you could go up a level and do the same thing and still find that these facilities are some of the best facilities that you're going to come across in the entire Northeast.
Right, I was saying, in the Northeast, you never know. It could be October, you could get snow, you could be 70 degrees like it was this year. You just never know.
Right.
But you've had success with turning around programs at Sabe and Assumption. What do you kind of attribute that to?
I think for me, it has nothing to do with me. I think that has a big part of it. I think it has to be a collaborative effort. It has to be something where, as a team, we look at it and say, what are our goals? And let's be really serious about these goals, and let's be realistic about these goals. And then once we figure out what those goals are, putting a plan in place. My job is to merely keep these guys on task. If it's only my vision and they don't share that same vision with me, there's no way that we can be very, very successful. So for me, it's an idea of what do we hope to get out of this, right? And then my job is to keep these people on track and keep our student athletes on track. So that, I think, is a collaborative effort, everyone feeling like they have a piece of the pie, where it's not just my program, but it's ours, even the communities. I think those are the things that allow people to get behind it, allow the players to get behind one another, and to get behind the coaches, and obviously their strength in numbers. So that plays a key part in anything we've ever been able to do.
Now, you've been in Worcester for a while. How would you kind of describe the community as football fans?
Yeah, so it reminds me a lot of where I come from. I come from a little coal mining town back in Pennsylvania, and to me, that that blue collar, tough community that I grew up in, I see a lot of similarities here. Football is something that everybody's very, very passionate about, and football here at Holy Cross is certainly something that they're very passionate about. So that's something that I understand is a big test, and I understand is cuts our work out for us, and I just feel like we got the right guys in place. This team is a team that's wants to be great, and we just got to help them take that next step.
Holy Cross has a storied history in the athletics program. What does it mean to be a part of that now?
Well, I think anytime you walk into a place that has a history, that automatically allows players that want to be great, like exists here, to relate to it. And I think that for me is something that we're going to have to do a really good job of communicating with the recruits, and also understand, look back at this, look back at all the successes that have come from this. It's time that we get back here. It's time for you to sort of etch your name in the record books that exist, of all the great that you have seen done here before. Now it's your time, so what accomplishments can we do together to put ourselves in that position?
And what are you most looking forward to starting this new adventure?
I think meeting the players and meeting the team. That's something, again, like I said, we had a team meeting. It was very, very quick, very short, and it was just not one of those things that we had a lot of time together. And I think developing relationships, as good as those relationships can be, will tell us how good our team could be. And that's something that certainly we just have not had enough time together to do that. That's what I'm most looking forward to.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. We're looking forward to the new season. We'll have more of the game after the break.